Wait, give me a minute. Um, just give me a minute, please. I'm sorry. Hello. Okay,
Yeah,
so hello everyone. Hello everyone. Good everyone. Wherever you are. My name is Stefan Yagwara. Today our guest speaker is Oluwatosin, and he's going to be talking to us about developing an effective dashboard and key performance indicator using Microsoft Excel. So the Microsoft Excel learning community, Lagos, is being brought to you by UrBizEdge. UrBizEdge is a Microsoft Excel consulting, financial modeling, business intelligence, data analyst, and enterprise solution firm in Nigeria. They're also the developers of the only Nigeria financial market analyst tool on the Microsoft Store and developers of the Nigeria stock analysis dashboard. These are the upcoming training calendar and these are the online classes which you should check out. I'll put the links in the chat box. So today our guest speaker is Oluwatosin. Oluwatosin is a business intelligence and data analyst for over the past 6 years. He has a very versatile experience with proven track record in data analysis, and he's also been able to identify business wants, offer desired solution to drive accuracy and efficiency in business processes. So if you have any questions during his presentation, you can put in your questions in the chat box, or maybe you raise your hands and allow you on mute so that you can ask a question. So hello Tosi, how are you?
I'm
Tosi,
fine. Fine, yeah, I hear you.
yeah. So you could
Just,
start presenting. You could share your screen and present.
all right, thank you. Just give me a minute, let me just share my screen. Okay.
Okay.
Please confirm and see my screen.
Oh,
Fine.
oh yes, I can see your screen. Yes, I can see your screen.
Oh, all right, great. Okay. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, wherever you are joining us from. Today is the 12th of June, 2022, and it's 4:05 p.m. We are starting this session now. I believe that a lot of us we already have prior knowledge to designing dashboard using Microsoft Excel. Even majority of us are even gone past the level of Microsoft Excel. We have come to the level of using Tableau, Power BI, and the likes. But one thing is the fact that for me as a person, I believe that if I'm going for any training, webinar, I always have one thing in mind, and that is the fact that I just want to pick something from every training I attend, from every course I take. There's always something new to actually pick from it. So I just want us to come with that expectation that fine, I already know this thing. I'm just joining with the mindset that going back after this session, there's something new I want to take home. So that being said, this session is just for an hour, and I will try as much as possible to manage my time, because if we are going to look at it critically step by step, it should take like 2 hours or even more if we are doing it. But we'll manage it and see how far we can go within this 15 minutes. So before we go into the practical, which is the main thing, I just want to give us some background. A message in the chat box
Yes.
that
Yeah. So
can
your
go
voice is
ahead.
not really clear. So like maybe we should go. Okay, it's clear now. It's better now.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's clearer. It's better now.
Please confirm confirm you can hear me now.
Yeah, we can hear you. It's better now. It's way better now. It's better now.
Very better, okay. So probably it was the hands free I was using, so that I had to disconnect the hands free so that I just speak directly to the system. So since it's better now, you can still see my slide, right?
I can still see your slide. I can still see your
Okay.
slide.
All right. So today we want to be looking at developing an effective dashboard and key performance indicators using Microsoft Excel. And the key thing behind it is the principle. Is the principle behind it. But before we go in depth, so let me just in next 5 minutes thereabout, let me just look at some of the things I've been able to put up before that. So we all know Excel. Every organization, every company, individuals, we use Microsoft Excel. And the fact that we have other data analytics tools like Power BI, Tableau, SQL, Python, R, and likes, Excel is still like a key data analytics and data visualization tool that everyone use from day to day activity. So I already said that it contains spreadsheets that helps you to input, calculate, and analyze data. Is a powerful data analysis and data visualization and analysis tool. Then KPIs. We are all familiar with KPIs, key performance indicator. With this, team or organization helps to make smart business decisions about the direction of their project, of the business. So like now you are in a particular role in your organization or the company where you work with, there's a laid down KPI for you on that role that you need to deliver per time. So that's with that, the business managers or the executive will be able to look at, okay, this is where we are tending towards. Okay, if it's good or bad, if it's bad, we need to look at what do we need to do to actually ensure we are moving in the right direction. Dashboard. A dashboard is a visual display of the vital information that an individual needs to convey to the client or stakeholders to achieve one or more objectives. You can have a very large data, or let's say big data, and from that data set, it's not everything you need to actually want to work on to give to your line manager. There are some key things that you need to extract and put together so that the line manager or your boss or stakeholders, the management need to see, that will give them like a picture or a summary of what the business is doing. So why do you need a dashboard? I said here that an interactive dashboard in Microsoft Excel is basically slices of visualization which helps your data to tell a story. There's a story behind every data set. There's a story behind every dashboard. So that's why, and when your dashboard is not interactive, it's just like one is doing a copy paste of the visuals and it's just there. But with slicers that you'll be able to use to interact, and by the time you see, oh, okay, in a particular year, this is what this data is saying. In a particular year, a particular region or location. So when it becomes interactive, you are able to quickly look at it at a glance to say, this is what this data is telling us. So I said it helps the end users to make informed decisions based on the data. So that's why we need a dashboard. So as I move on, now what are the step-by-step principles? Number one, these steps are also similar to what we do on our Power BI, for majority of us who are also using Power BI right now. One, bring in your data set. The data set, you can actually import the data set from an external source. Okay, you can import it from an external source. You can bring in from your drive and just open it. So on Power BI, we have a lot of sources whereby you can bring in your data set. But here, so let's just go with it. So from external sources, you can import your data set. Then select a background. This background will help your dashboard to appear attractive without losing focus from the data. It brings a very good look or appearances to your dashboard without looking focused. So now in selecting background, so we need to be careful in our choice of picking our color so that we don't have two multicolors and people are just looking at the color. They are not focusing on the data. So you select your background in such a way that people don't look away from the focus of the data set. What is the data telling them? Then the next thing is manage your data and link it to your dashboard. So all this will be seen in the practical. I'm just giving us the principle. So how do you do that? You have the data set with the aid of your pivot table. You are able to link up all your charts, your pivot tables, all the pivot tables that you have, all the charts that you have actually designed. You're able to link them up together to make it look very interactive. Then use dynamic charts. I said a chart is used to discover actionable patterns in data sets, in a particular data. So you could use line chart, you could use bar chart and area chart and so many other things, pie chart and donut chart, depending on what the data looks like. So if you're looking at a data set for a period of time, a long period of time, most times it's advisable you just use a line chart. But if you are comparing fewer things like maybe 4 or 5 items, you could use a bar chart to quickly look at the pictorial representation of the comparison. But if you are looking at a two data set like male, female, yes or no information, you can just put that on a pie chart or a donut chart to really see, oh, this is the ratio of male to female in terms of percentage and other things like that. So now, the next thing is to design your Excel dashboard report. I said dashboards must be interactive for it to make much sense. It must be interactive for it to make much sense. This can be achieved with the use of controls on charts like slicers. So I already mentioned that. Then finally, the sixth step is dashboard storytelling. So at a goal, when you present your dashboard from the large data set you are given, so there should be a trend of story. What's this dashboard telling you? Okay, and in most cases, as we'll be looking at now, we'll be using a sample data set that was downloaded from Cargo online. It's a sales data set. So from there, I want to see what's this data set telling us. So there's a story behind every dashboard. So I said the goal of a dashboard is to provide data in such a form that it gives clients or stakeholders the insight you want them to have. So at a goal, they are seeing it. Oh, they are studying it. They are looking at it. Okay, in this year, we have total number of revenue to be this. Oh, in this particular year, the sales dropped. Oh, the quantity of product we sold is this and that. Oh, why? What's happening? What are the challenges? So they begin to look at the why. You know, as a data analyst, you begin to think, okay, this thing happened. Why did it happen? Oh, okay, if it happened this way, what's the reason behind it? Okay, what do you need to do to correct it? So these are the things that will bring up the insights that stakeholders need to make about the data. So these are just the 6 simple principles, step-by-step principles that we'll be using even as we look at the data set in our subsequent slide. So I said practical hands of data visualization. So now we want to look at the data itself and work on it very briefly. So this data set has 5 columns. So it has the year column, it has the employee. So it's just like the customers. So looking at data set, they're like customers, people that patronize, then the cities where they came from, the quantities sold, and the total sales made. So I said our goal is to draw insight from the data using Microsoft Excel by creating an interactive dashboard. And I said, please note that you can also achieve this using Microsoft Power BI to create this interactive dashboard. So now, here we go. So I already attached my Excel to this slide. So from there, I'll just open it and we'll come back to the rest. After this, we'll have room for questions and answer. Please, if I do me a favor that you can still hear me. So I want
Yeah, I
to
can still
move.
hear you. Yeah,
Okay,
I can
good. So I want to stop sharing my PowerPoint slide down and move to the Excel data set so that we just work on that
okay.
in the time frame we have. Okay, please confirm you can see this Excel sheet that has
Yeah, I
our
can see
data
Excel
set.
sheets. Yeah,
Okay.
yes, employees, city, quantity, and sales.
Oh, good. Thank you. So I can go on then. So we have these 5 columns. I already stated that in the slide I shared. So for me, this is just like a range of data in Excel that has been typed. So looking at it, we have 5 columns. We have 30 rows, excluding the header, 5 column, 30 rows. So from here, we are given these data sets. So we just begin to think, okay, what do I need to do? So for me, let me just put here our KPIs. From it says data, what do I need? The KPIs. Number 1, maybe I want to look at the total sales. Also, maybe I want to look at the average sales. I want to look at the total quantity sold. Look at the average quantity. Okay. So what do I need to do again? We look at the data set again. Okay, total average quantity. Okay, let's look at it. Total sales by year. Total sales by year. Okay. Total quantity. Total quantities by year. Okay. We are looking at it. Okay. Let's see each of these customers. Let's look at their total sales and the city. So we can say, okay, we want to look at total sales by our respective customers. So who is the highest, who has the highest sales for a particular year or even the entire period of time year we are looking at? Who has the highest sales, total sales by the customer, total sales.
So someone also
by
said location location concentration.
Yes,
Okay, so that's
location.
total by countries.
So total sales by country, that's the city. So in this data we have city. So let me put it city and country. We have city. So you're already looking at the data set. You're already speaking back to the data set to say, oh, we want to look at all of these things. Okay. So with the KPI stated here, we want to quickly look at how we can go about this. So the total sales now, we can use our card to do this, just like you are doing the Power BI. So you will just use card to do it, the average, the total. Then we now use this 4 here. We now look at it using visuals, maybe bar charts or a line chart and the likes. So let's see how we can quickly go about this in the next few minutes that we have. So here is the data set. I told us that's 30 rows, 5 columns. So for me, most times, I just like to convert this range of this range of cells into a table. So with your Control T, you are able to convert it to a table. So it's asking you where is data set. It has located it automatically. It has picked it from A1 to E31. You check is that's what you have. So it has already selected. You can see. So if it's not picking it where you can do that. Then it now asks, okay, my table has headers. So we can see that we have header, we have the head, the employee, which is the customer, the city, quantity, and sales. So you click OK. So you look at it now, there's another look to it, another front to it. So the advantage of this is by the time you are making some calculations, okay, it's easier to easily get the answers rather than when you have it in a range of cells. So from here now, I can quickly look at my total sales with alt equals to, I have my total sales. So total quantity, I can get that as well, 764. Total sales, this 9,935,000. Okay, so from here you can decide to put your currency. Let me see, let me use the dollar sign. So we'll just go on from there. So I've applied the dollar sign to the sales. So here is the total sales and like so total sales, we already know it. Pick it from here. Let me just leave this and work on with what we have here. We have our total quantity. So now, how do we go about this? From our presentation, I already told us we've gotten the data, which is the first step. So the next thing is, let's select our background and so before going to build the dashboard itself, let's quickly use our pivot table to actually bring out some of those things that we needed here. So once you click on any cell in the data, let me remove this, just showing us how we can actually go about getting the total. So click on any cell, come to insert, from insert, click on your pivot table. So now it's showing table 1. So I also want to show us that you can rename your table from table design, come to table name. So I can say this is a sales data. Automatically it will change. So by the time I'm using pivot now, it will not bring table 1 that we have again. It's going to bring sales data. So it has recognized that table as a sales data. We want it on a new worksheet. So you click OK. So you can see now this is a pivot table. So we'll now begin to build our pivot table based on our KPIs. We said the first thing is what? The total sales. So from here, click on your sales. It comes automatically to your value as sum. Then we want to look at, okay, that's the total sales. So I'm changing this from sum of sales to total sales. So I want to put my currency. So that's that. So from here, you can just easily copy this, bring it on here, change this total to the next KPI we want is the average. So come to this place. I want to be sure my screen is clear, right? So you come here.
Yes, the screen is clear.
All right, thank you. So from sum, you change it to average. So here's the average total sales. We have $331,166.67. Okay, we are done with sales. We want to look at our total quantity. So I've copied that and paste again. So come to quantity, remove your sales, put quantity. So we can see now the total quantity is 764. So my quantity should not have currency. Bring it back to number. I don't want it in decimal. So this is the total quantity. So I want to look at the average quantity sold within that period of time. Change your total here to average. So that is the value 25. The quantity, total quantity. Okay. So let's continue. Now, from there, we said we also want to look at what? The total sales by year. So this time around, we want to look at the total sales by year. So we are still on pivot table now, trying to bring out our information before we now move to the dashboard. So from here, I have total sales, but I want to look at it with the year. Click on your year. So you see, I click on my year, it's bringing it to the columns place, but normally it's not showing here. So all you need to do is move it down to your rows. So move your year down to rows. You can see it now. So you have for each of the year. Let me change row label to year, and we have total sales. So you can see 2018 down to 2022. This is the total sales for each of the year. Then we also want to look at the total quantity by year. So click on it. So move your sales out, put your quantity. So here is the total quantity by year. So remember, remove it from currency. Your quantity should not have currency. So just leave it in number. Then you can remove the decimal place, or you leave it if you want. So this is the total quantity per year. Okay, so from your KPI that we have stated, you want to look at the total sales by the individual customers and the total sales by city. So there are a lot of things we can even still pick. So as time goes on, if there's time, we can come to that. So let's can work on this. So now we don't need the year, but we need the customers that are involved. So you can see it now. Pratika, Mabni, Navika, Surabi. So these are the let me name it, the employee, the employers, or I make it the customer. So that's what the data set is showing. So from there, we now also want to look finally on the total sales by cities. Okay, so where is the highest sales coming from? Then by the time we finish that on our dashboard, we'll now begin to look at some other information, insights that the dashboard is giving us. So we are removing this. We want our city. Oh, Bhopal has the total highest sales, followed by Mumbai, followed by Jaipur, followed by New Delhi. So, and I believe these cities are in India. So these are just the 4 cities that we're focused on. Now, from here, it reminded me of when I wanted to build my first Excel dashboard. I've done all this. I was not looking for how I was going to link the data set together because I was trying it on my own. But I was not getting it. So all I did was just to move the individual visuals one by one to the dashboard. But it was not interactive. So it was not looking beautiful, but I shall presented it like that. So it was later I had to sit down. This thing, as it is done on Power BI, we can also do it here. So I had to now go and look at, oh, this is what actually makes it look beautiful. But we are not taking all this table to our this thing. So briefly, we can quickly put our visuals to it, to the chart. So we can quickly put our visuals to the chart. Okay, I want to use this. I can decide to use, since it is here, I can decide to use bar chart because the data set is not much. We have just 5 years. Assuming you have like 10 or even more, you can use a line chart. You can easily use a line chart just to show trend. However, you can also use a line chart here too. You see it, just to show the trend. So this is it. And most times for me, I like to remove the grid lines, format grid lines. So no line, remove the grid line. It makes it look more clean. So total sales by year. That is by year. Move it up. Let's see. So now this value that is showing here in million, we can also do something. We can format that axis and see how we can make the display units here to be in millions here. So whatever you are seeing here, remember to come and put it here in the title to say this is in millions, $1 million. So is in $1 million. So whoever is reading your report will be able to see that, oh, this value is not just 3.5 million. is not just $3.5, it's 3.5 million and the like. So it's just like this. Or if you don't want this to appear, you can decide to give your visuals here, your charts here, you can decide to give it data label. By the time I add data label to it, so most times once I add data label, I prefer to remove this axis from it. So let me just leave it. We'll conclude on what to do as we move on, if we want to leave it or not. So let me quickly do this. By the time we are done with all of this, you see that other stages look so good to go. So okay, insert, give us visual. Okay, so this is the total quantity. Is okay. So our quantity is the total quantity. I want to remove my green lines. I don't need my grid lines, so I can easily remove it. Okay, so this is fine. Let's move on. I don't need this legend there. This is the year. Okay. From there, let's move to the next one briefly. Trying to see. So we want to look at the sales by each of these customers that came to buy stock from our city in the 4 cities. 4 cities, we have all of these. So this again, axis option. This is in millions. Okay, let me put it in millions. Totals. Okay. Okay. Total sales by. Although I can easily change each of these this EMP to customer so that it gives more meaning. Then the last one, okay, this is city. I've not named this. This is city. So the total sales by city. Total sales. Okay. Under display units where you change to your millions or thousands or so. Let me look at one. Okay, millions. Okay, in this year, cost of this one showing 0.84. Let me change this one, the values here to 2,000, so that let me change it to 1,000, so that this 840 can actually have a bit of more representative. 840,000. Okay. Let me reduce the decimal points. I want to make it whole number. Don't want it in decimal. Okay. Okay, so I think this is total by city, total by the end customer, total quantity, then year. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So from our KPI, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So now, then on the other hand, too, I don't want all of these. Okay, I can remove that on that. I don't want all of these values, this label, the year and the sales to show. So I can easily hide field buttons on chart. You can see it. I'm hiding that. I can hide all of this. All of this I'm doing is just to ensure that my visual on my chart doesn't have too many things that are distracting. Okay, that's what I'm doing, trying to remove all of these. So just focus on the number, see what insight you want to draw. Oh, this is fine. Let me move it up. This is good. So briefly, now let's now look at our dashboard. First thing is we want to have a title. So come to insert. Let's make use of some shapes to do our title. We can use rectangular, any of these rectangular shapes, depending on how you want it. I just pick any of these shapes. Okay. Okay, that's one. You can easily duplicate it so that we can use it to build others. You can duplicate it, resize it. Just the way you have prepared your mind, you already know what you want. So from there, most times you can easily do a template. You can easily do a template like a sketch on your book to say, okay, this is the way you want a dashboard to look like. So for this, okay, I can easily duplicate this. Duplicate, because I have 4 cards. I want the total sales to appear in my card. I want the average total quantity and average quantity to appear in my card. So I have it like this. So let's select this 4. Let's come to align shape format. So align, I want it to align horizontally. I want it to align to the top. You see it moved now, so I want everything to align to be on the same line. So that's already aligned. Let me add more space for my, so I've left this. So I want to increase this. So I can easily name this sales analysis or retail sales, because a retail data set, retail. There's no need to put a dashboard since you already know. So come to your home, increase, depending on what font you like, you can increase it, put it. That's our title. Now, the next phase I want us to look at is what I want to do now. But let me duplicate one of these because I'll be using it for that part of the dashboard. So now, there's a technique here that one needs to master when you want to bring in your all these values that you have done here. Okay, so now I want to bring in the total sales. So when you click on this shape, this rectangular shape that you have created, okay, don't click inside. If you click inside, it's like you want to type inside. Just click on the edge. Look at it. Click on the edge. Come to this formula bar here. You can see when I put my mouse, it's showing formula bar. Then click equals to. When you click equals to, go to your pivots. Come to the total sales here. This particular one. Enter. You can see our value. So we'll come and edit that. Then the next one is the average total sales. Click on it on the edge. Come to your formula bar. Press equals to. Come to your pivot table. Pick the total. The same thing here. Come to your formula bar. Pick the total quantity. Enter. The same thing here. Look at this now. Before I enter this, if I click inside, as if I want to put the equality sign inside, and I will now go ahead to go and pick my average quantity. Look at what I'm going to have. It's not picking anything. It's not recognizing this. So that's what I'm saying. You don't need to click inside of this rectangular shape. All you need to do is click on the edge and come to your formula bar. Then click equality sign. Then come to your pivot, pick the total. I think I have not edited that to ensure that it picks what it's supposed to pick. So click on the edge, equals together. That's why we need to be very cautious of this when we are doing it. So this for this quantity. So I can easily edit all of this. So let's assume I want to use a white front. So here it is. I can easily increase the size. Once I do one, I can use it to format the other so that I will show us. So this is our total sales. Too big, I can reduce it because that's not our focus. Our focus is the value and not the title. I want to centralize it. Okay, if I click on this, this is called format painter here. Click on it, click on this. You see that this value has changed. So I can easily change this name to average sales. Okay, let me reduce the size of the average total sales so that the title does not pick the entire table. So I can increase the size of my value. Yes, 14. So just for us to know the technique, the data is not much. We can use the same thing for others. So this is our total quantities. Okay, so let me just change this, change the front. Down, center, down, one. That's total quantity. This is average quantity. So, what? 13. The heading is too large. At 11. So I can centralize it. So we see, you can see this now. So it's looking a bit gradually like a dashboard. Like a dashboard gradually. This is 14. So where the picture, so at a glance, whoever is looking at it is seeing our total.
Yes, so sorry. Someone has a question. You can unmute
Okay.
and ask a question.
Okay.
Yes, so has a question.
Hello.
Yeah,
Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. My question is when you when in the formula bar, when you update the formula to take it from the pivot, is it possible that if somebody knows how to put a formula there to calculate it directly from the data set, it will still work, or does it have to be from a pivot only?
Okay, you're saying does it have to come from the pivot or where? Which other place did you talk about, please?
So you can directly take it from the data set by putting the formula of total of adding the sales and so on.
Okay. Let's see. Like here now, if I have my alt equals to give me the total, which is this value, right?
So you can
So
either do it from here, or you can add it in the dashboard. Instead of pivot, you can add some total or something, and then take it from the data set itself. Is it possible? Will it still take?
okay, let's just try it. Let's just try. We're in the section together. There's no harm in that. So now I want to remove this. So I have this new rectangular shape here. So I want to put equals to go to where I have my data. So this is the total sales here. I click on this. It's saying the formula is missing a reference or a defined name. So let me see. Is there anything wrong? Let me try again. So I just wanted to be sure so that if it's possible, then it's an added knowledge for every one of us to take home and not rely. So this is what I'm getting. So do you think there's a possible solution we will do to this?
Can we also try adding the formula sum and then
Okay.
put it for the entire column? Maybe then if we can get it, if you mention equal to sum bracket
Yeah.
and then
So
go to
this
the
is the
and
entire data set
entire
like
yeah
this.
yeah.
Enter. So I'm still having this. I don't know how
Mm.
I'm having this. It's missing a range reference or a defined name. So that's what this is giving us.
I think
So
so. It's
I also tried to a new data set.
You didn't
So
close the bracket.
okay, you mean I didn't close the bracket? Okay, let's see again.
Yes. Right.
Okay, equals sum. So here it is the total sales. Okay, then let me close my bracket. Enter.
it's
It brings the same thing. I've not tried it before, so it's good. We're adding knowledge, we are sharing knowledge, so it's good. So I can also maybe outside of this place also try to walk around it and see what this error message is giving. We can also Google it and see why is it bringing this error message. Once we're able to fix this error, I believe it should give us our result. Thank you for that additional comment. Thank you for that additional comment. So I think you should give us. Can we go ahead now, or we still have one or two persons that wants to add something? If I
No, there's no other questions.
okay, can I go ahead?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
All right.
thank you.
So good. So here is where the basic logic is. So that by the time now I've seen if we decide to type all of this value in these cards, okay, at the end of the day, by the time we bring our slicer, okay, I taught someone on this Excel dashboard, so I gave her an assignment to do. So when she sent the result, I tried to do, she also did slicer, but the fact that all other visuals, the chart and the line graph, they were actually interacting, but all of these cards were fixed. So when I checked through, I saw that she only typed all of these total sales and typed the value. So with that, the cards here were not interacting to change to each particular year. So I had to tell her, okay, this is what was missing that you didn't do well. So if we did not go through this to be able to bring it from where we have it from the source, by the time we are connected all our chart, it will not interact. So let's take note of that. So now as we round up now, the rest will only just bring in our visuals and that will be all. But this section, we only just bring in our visuals, add slicer to it, and that will be all. So let me just quickly do this. Let me prepare the bed where the visuals are coming to actually sleep on, and we are good to go for this evening. Okay, give me a second, please. Hello, please. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you
Hello?
now. Yes, I can hear you now.
Fine. So okay, sorry, I had a disruption, so I had to quickly fix it. But is the slide still showing?
Yeah, your slide is showing.
Okay, thank you. So I had to quickly fix that. That's done. Okay, let's solve with this first. I think we only have 4 now. We only have 4 of the visuals that we want to represent based on the KPIs that we have actually set. So if we need to put additional information, we can easily create that. So, okay, good. So, this is not aligning.
Um, Tosi, Tosi, can you like unmute yourself? And Tosi, yeah, okay, yeah,
Sorry, can you imagine?
yes. So yeah, it's all right.
Thank you.
So
Yeah, can you hear me now? It's
You can
fine.
go back
yeah,
to
yeah,
step.
can you know?
Okay, I'll go back. So after creating these shapes that I want to bring import my visuals to, so I just have to copy. For all of these, we are only going to do a copy paste. It is when we are doing the slicers that we will now do a connection for it to interact with all of the figures that we have here, all of the visuals, the pivot table and everything. So for this is just a copy paste from the source. That's what we are still doing here. Please permit me to remove this as this value. I want my visuals alone to just show, and here we have something more better. Okay, permit me to remove that. Okay, so that's total sales by year. Then this is the other one is total quantities. The total quantities. Okay, permit me to still remove this. Okay, it's not yet aligning. We need to ensure it aligns. Good. So let me go and pick the next one. So the total sales by the customer. List. Data label. Data label. So okay. So this is total. Okay. Then the last one, total sales by city. Okay. Data label. So this. All right. So we're almost there at where we are going to. So good. Copy. Remember. Okay. All right. So now, okay. So let's now connect all our information together using a slicer. I'm trying to ensure that these ones align. That's what I'm trying to do. So your dashboard is good that these lines on our the workbook here is removed. So from view, you can remove your grid lines. You see it now. So when you remove your grid line, so you have a plain background, which is fine. So let's give this a background. Okay. It depends on whatever background you love to give. I'm a boy and I'm a lover of blue. So probably let me choose for another blue that is closer to this, that we still give. So sorry, give my this is not looking too deep. Okay, I have a royal blue here, and the background is like a sky blue. So I don't want something too shouting. Hey, in terms of color, I mentioned the other time that we don't need to make it shout. Just allow maximum of 2 or 3 maximum when you are mixing colors. So maybe you are comparing two things now in this particular visual here. You know, there will be blue, there will be another color. That's 2 colors. Then the background or the heading will pick another color. So maximum, so that we don't have something that is shouting, a color that like a color mixture, color riot. Just make it look cool. Okay, if you are using probably a deep purple, we can use something close to, so that everything will just blend together. So I'm giving it a background. So I will still need to now. This is where we are going to look at the interactive aspect of it. So when I click on this total sales here, which is one of our pivot that we have created, so come to your insert, then you will see your slicer here. Click on slicer. So you see you have the year, the employers, the city, quantity, and sales. So if I decide that, okay, let me see, if I want to work with the year or the city, let me pick year first. So this for the year, I have the year. So now let me resize it. I just want it this way. So we have 2018 to 2022. So click on this slicer that I have created. Look at the slicer setting. If there's anything missing, the name is year. Display header, yes, that's the year. You want in ascending order. If you want it descending order, largest to smallest, you can do that. If you want in ascending, custom, everything here is fine. Okay, click OK. Now this is where it is. This report connection is where you are going to make your slicer interact with every pivot and every virtuals that you have created. So select every of these box, just click on it, click on every of these box here, so that you can interact with this here will interact with everything. So this is done. Click OK. So you can copy it, you can decide to cut it, you can copy, then you can paste here, meaning that I will still even have to extend my background. So I'll still have to extend my background so it accommodates this slicer I just inserted. Okay, is fine. Okay. So now is my slicer. I don't want to go too far. So with that now, let's see 2018 at a glance. You want to see what has happened in 2018. So click on 2018 here. Let me reduce the front here. You will see. So that at a go we are seeing it. I want it to be visible. So what's happening? This particular year, okay, showing the total sales because it's a line graph. So maybe I will need to return it to a bar chart so that we can see the visual. It's a line chart, so it's not making it look that good and communicating well. So let's just change this to, if I change it here, I believe it should change because it's linked to the source.
I think where you shared your slicer settings, they couldn't see it, and that's because when you're sharing your screen. So I think maybe you didn't share your full screen. You shared a window. You picked the second option, which window? So you shared like those Excel windows. Any other external screen like it
okay, so you're not seeing this one.
No, we can see this, but we can't see.
Okay.
So wait, where you click on Excel like to change your settings, it opens like a dialog box.
Are you serious?
Yes, yeah. So you would also see the dialog box because dialog box is no longer Excel. It's now like kind of like a second screen. So we don't see that anything that opens the dialog box, we don't see it.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry about that.
But yeah, so that's us.
Okay, so sorry about that. Okay. Wow.
Well, okay, so I was
Format.
asking if you could just summarize the slicer again.
Okay. Fine. So is the slicer this way that has the slicer now? Is it displaying?
Yes, it's visible. So you have to go
So
back to your so like on share your screen. Then when you're sharing, pick the first option, which is like screen. So that will show everything. Anything that opens,
so
it shows it. Yeah.
this now
Yes.
is my
Yes.
screen.
Okay. Now, so
So
try to open a.
I'm under KPI now. You are seeing it, right?
Yeah, I can say KPI. So try
The
to open
data
like.
itself.
Yeah, I can see. So just open a slicer settings. Let me
Okay,
see what.
fine. So from here now, I'm saying come to insert, go to slicer. So we already have a slicer here. So the slicer setting, let me show it. Let me right click on it. So when I click on it, it was not showing because I put this by tab here on home. So come to slicer. This is the slicer setting here. So
Yes.
from
So
the
now we can
slicer
see it.
setting, showing now.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
showing now.
Thank you for attention to it. Thank you. So we have the name. So it display header is the year, which is the name. So I'm saying that this what it was set to by default. Show smallest to largest. We can change it to say largest to lowest, custom. So if you want it to hide items with no data, you can easily do that by clicking this box. But no, let's just leave it this way. So these are all the information it has ticked, items with no data and the rest. And I said the major focus is this report connection here is where you are going to link this slicer to all of the pivot that you have created. So just click on the slicer, come to report. So initially, all these were unchecked. So I have to check now. Probably I'll go and delete this previous one. Let me delete this. Let me come to my dashboard. Let me delete this. Good. So it's like creating a new one now. Click on this total sales. Come to insert, slicer. So these are all the information you have. Since it's a simple data, the columns. So year, I pick the year. So I decide to resize the year just this way. So we've checked the slider setting. Let me see, it's still intact. And I say come to report connection. So you see that on the report connection, it's showing only one pivot table connected. So just tick on each of these box one by one so that your slicer for year connects to all of the data set. Then click OK. So from there, you can copy. Even from here, you can see if I click on 2018, you see that it's speaking to every of the information. So I said I wanted to change this particular one to a bar chart. Okay, good, to a bar chart. So let me see the one on my dashboard. So the one on my dashboard, let me see chart design. Okay. Okay, let me remove the grid lines. I don't want the grid lines. I'll remove the grid lines. So now I can now copy my slicer, bring it to my dashboard here, and paste. Bring it here and paste. So now I want it to interact with all of the data sets we have created. So from here, okay, at a go, we want to look at some basic information like in 2018, what is total sales saying? What is total quantity saying? Then you look at other information. So in 2018, we could notice or observe that, let me zoom it. Yes, only 3 customers bought sales in 2018. We can see it. The Kratika, I'm coming to put title, add to this title is the Million, the Navica and the others. look at the total sales by city. So he bought in all of this. So he bought just only 3 people bought sales. If you compare 2019 as well, 2019, here the information, it changes. So all of the 4 customers bought in 2019, but they bought from only 3 cities, and we have 4, 2020, in 2020, 2021, 2022. But now you can begin to look at, okay, in a particular year, there was progression in sales. In a particular year, there was drop in sales. So you can begin to think of what are the possible reasons. If you are familiar with the city, probably if we begin to look at the period of COVID and other things, it can be okay, maybe because of COVID, maybe sales drop and other things like that. So these are some of the insight we can actually bring to it. So if you want to add other slicers as well, just the same way we have done this, you can easily add other slicers. So like I said, I want to remove this. Let me bring my data label to this, data label to this. So this is quantity. Let me look at this. So this is in millions. This also is in $1,000,000. Now, thank you. So with all of this, if you send this to your line manager, you presented it to him as the head of sales, and at a glance, he begins to look at it, provided it's someone that also have the knowledge of how to look at a dashboard and interact with it. Okay, so if he doesn't know, if you have just decided to look at, you see that as I'm picking the year, the total sales is also changing. 2018 total average quantity. So you can see from there, this one is 239, 2019 172, 2020 175, 2019 2020. So that sales drop. In 2020 we have 230 something. 2019 2020 it reduced to 170 to 175. So 2021 it dropped. 2022 we went up again. So at a go, we are beginning to look at all of these. So let's assume we want to create another, just one slicer to it, insert. Then that should be, let me use city. Let me use city this time around. So for the city as well, we have 4 cities. So let me just rearrange, realign this. Yes. So like I said, you have to connect it to every of your pivot table so that when you get to your dashboard, it interacts with everything on the dashboard. Without that, it will not interact. It will just remain stagnant, static. It remains static. It will not be dynamic. It will move. So I can paste that here. Okay, good. I can paste that here as well. So if you want to add design to it, you can go ahead to do that under this. Okay, it's still blue, so I might just need to leave it that way so it will not make too much of effect. So now you want to look at a goal in this Bhopal at a glance. You are looking at, oh, in that city, this is total sales, which is the highest, $3,595,000. Total quantity, average total sales, 359,500. Total quantity, 270. Average, 27. So you can begin to interact. As you are clicking on each one of them, there's interaction. You can see there's interaction. Here, the sales is in wavelength. In 2018, it dropped. 2019, came up again. 2020, it dropped. 2021, you can see it. Looking at Japan own was down, up, down. So you can begin to look at all of these things and begin to predict what are the major causes. Only in 2019 did Mumbai had good sales, but all other years it dropped. So what were the challenges that happened in that city that affected each of these sales? And you see that even New Delhi, only 3 years, 2018, 2019, there was no sale in 2020, there was no sale in 2021. What could be responsible? So as an analyst, we are thinking of why, what happened, what could have happened, what do you need to do? Okay, what are the type of products sold that they did not sell that year? Probably that's why the customers did not buy. So these are some of the things that we'll begin to think of as an analyst when we are provided with data and want to make good information about our data data set. So let me just put this at the middle. Let me allow you to align with this so that it doesn't go. So like I said, you can make use of any color that you want. Okay, so from here, if we have a question, please, it's highly welcome this
Okay,
time.
so there's
Sorry for taking
a
into
question
our time.
from one person.
Okay, please go ahead.
Oh, Etaron. Etaron. You had a question.
It got answered. I just wanted to understand how the slicer is done, but it got answered. Thank you very
Yes,
much.
done it. Oh, okay. All right. So there's a question you asked earlier about that stuff you asked. So I have a way you can go about it. The only thing is that the pivot table way is better, especially because your data will be increasing. Sure. But there's a way you can go about it. Do you
Yes,
want
so
it?
can you
Yes.
share? I can go ahead to share
Oh no,
with
no, no.
us.
Oh no, oh no. You can do it on your work. So
Okay,
so go back to that part of the data.
okay. The data itself, yeah,
The
or the
data itself,
pivot.
yeah. The data
Okay,
itself. Yeah. So delete that last. Delete this total. Like
okay,
just delete it, yeah. Okay, so just go to go to a cell, maybe G1.
okay.
Yeah, go to G1. Where's G1? Yeah, it does
This
equals
one,
to so yeah, G1 or J1, anyone. Any cell, yeah.
yes,
So equals to sum of sum like
yes.
then open the bracket. Then go to E, but like just no go to E column E.
Yeah,
Just put
right.
yeah,
The
yeah, E. So,
sales.
yeah, don't click on it. Just go up, go to sales itself. Just over your
Okay,
mouse. It turn to a black, kind of like a black stuff. Yeah, yeah, see, I've seen it there. Yeah. So
okay. The
yeah,
entire column.
so okay, this is not
I
a
select the entire column.
yes. Is it like a
Yeah,
pivot?
this is why I have
Yeah, so maybe close the brackets and enter.
the total.
Yes, yes. Then you can open a text box and you can equals to this cell.
Okay, let's do
Yes,
that.
so you can just
Let
open
me.
a text box in that place.
I want to try and open a new one. Probably if that will not
But you know
affect.
the problem with this is
Okay,
going to be that it is not going to be dynamic, like how it is
Exactly.
so
right now.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so
That's why it's like I said the pivot table method which he did is way more
yeah.
better than this.
so it picked
He
it.
picks it, but the problem, like you
Yes.
mentioned, it's not going to be as dynamic as if you have done a pivot table with it.
So
Right.
one will be like static, the other one is dynamic, so that when you
No, so
interact with it,
no, so like whenever you have new data sets, it will
yeah,
not this one might not like increase, but when you do the pivot table, as data increases, the everything like
yeah,
increases it.
yeah.
Like it's also
So
up self-updating itself. Exactly.
yeah, so just like if you want to double this data set now, once we refresh
And
the dashboard,
the
all of
dash
that information will just
everything dashboards,
automatically
yeah.
increase.
Increases. Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
exactly.
I have a
Yeah.
question. Uh,
Okay.
we converted the data set into a table. What if we wouldn't have converted that? Obviously, we can still make a pivot uh, with the rows and columns, right? We don't need to convert them into table.
Yeah,
Um
it is not compulsory to convert to table. Yes, it's not compulsory. I only said that I prefer working with it in table, but it's not compulsory you change it to table.
But I believe there's some other complications that would come in if we don't convert it into a table, because table have certain features and functions which are more compatible with the pivot. So I guess that's what I think that's the only difference, I believe, right?
no, so a table is yeah, an Excel table grows. You have the ability to grow and like keep up with your format. So when you convert it to a table, and like so whenever he adds in, even like Tosi adds a new data and refreshes, everything like
Yes.
everything does, yeah. So that if you didn't convert to a table, like
It will
you don't
not.
have that you lose that ability.
Yeah. So I
So
think every pivot will have to keep changing the data set again, keep taking it the entire area in it.
Okay. So another thing is, let's assume we have like 5,000 or 1 million rows now. if it's not in a table, and I decide to multiply this column here by this, just for example, because it's in a table, it's actually going to populate for all of the rows, no matter how long it is. But if our data set is just in a range, you have to start dragging down. And if you have like 1 million rows, how long do you want to drag down?
Shut
But with a
up.
table, once you work on the first row, it applies to all other rows, no matter the number of rows. That's another this thing. And
Okay,
if you want to
so
do all this VLOOKUP, SLOOKUP, it makes the table already has a name. Each column has its name, so there's a way you can call them out without having to go to look at it one by one. So that's another beauty it brings to it.
okay, so there's one more question. There are
Okay,
two
go
more
ahead.
questions. Okay, so so Oli Shola, there's a question. You have a question, so you could unmute and just ask a question. We'll have to be
Okay.
rounding up for our next session.
Okay, good evening.
Yeah, good
Okay,
evening.
Good
I just wanted
evening, madam.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Okay, I just wanted to know that for the slicers, do we have multiple selects like Power BI? Because I noticed that most of the time it was just a single select that you were
Oh,
doing.
okay.
For instance,
There
pick
is,
two or
there
three.
is. Let's see now
It
that
is
you want to do 3 years together. Look at it.
okay.
You can see.
Okay, so you press control button to do it, right?
Yeah, that's what I actually did, but it's not even picking. So you have to press
Okay.
your control button to pick.
Button to do it. Okay,
Okay, so
Yes.
there's one more question again.
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, see, you can unmute.
Okay.
You can unmute. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, good evening. You can go ahead.
Okay. Can I talk?
Yeah, Osezua, you can go ahead.
All right. Thank you. Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Okay. So I just want clarity on the cards that you put on top of the pivot
Okay.
charts. Yeah, those cards. When you were doing that, I lost concentration. So I want to know how you did it and that made it interactive.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Then my
mm,
second question, I really want to understand the difference between this table and the range. Of course, I know what the range is, but how did you really develop that table? And now, are you saying that when you have a table, if you have additional information in that table, that it reflects on the dashboard?
Yes, sir.
yes.
When you refresh,
Okay.
Those
it
are
will
my questions.
reflect on
Yeah.
the dashboard.
Okay. So for the first question of in working
The
issue, the
card.
video will be made available. So you have to watch the video because we have another session, but it can explain the difference between the table and the range for you.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, please. I will
Okay.
appreciate that.
Sorry. I'm really sorry
Thank
about
you.
that. Yeah.
Sorry,
Ah,
before you go, can you look at the
okay.
dashboard again and spot
Yes.
something on the total sales? Can you see that the total sales that has
Yes.
increased to 19.8 million, total quantity has increased to 1,528, as
Yes.
against
Away from 700
764?
that it was.
Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. So that's the importance
Oh,
of the
yes.
table.
Oh, yes. So that's fine. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So I'll share the YouTube. Like the video will be available by Tuesday, so you could just replay it. And we're going to attach. He sent the data he used and the present the slide, so you could also make use of the exact same data he's using and practice along as you're watching the video. Well,
Okay.
yeah. Then Grace, you had a question.
Okay,
Grace.
yeah. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good
Hello?
evening. Hello, Tosi.
Hello. Good evening. Hello?
Hello, we can hear
Please, can
you.
you?
Yeah, I can hear you. Where's
Oh,
Tosi? Somebody has a
thank
question for
you.
you.
Thank you. Hello?
Yeah, hello, we can hear you. We can
Please,
hear you. Okay.
I want to ask. I'm a beginner. So I want to ask, please, if I have this dashboard ready, how do I send it to my bosses? How do I share it with them? Maybe in form of presentation. Am I going to send the Excel file to them?
Tosi, hello. I don't know if it's here. I think it's not in the call again. Hello, Tosi. Okay, I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now.
I'm here. Sorry, a call came in.
Oh, okay. So, Grace, can you just repeat the question, please?
Okay, hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Just repeat the question.
Okay. Please, I was asking if I have all of this ready, how do I send it to my bosses? How do I present it to them?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. So what I do most times, I've tried two things. I've tried to use an image to send it, but it's just that it will be blur. It's blur at times. Like if I have this sniping tool here on my system that I normally use to just pick image. But the best thing is you can save it from Excel as PDF. So if I want to use this sniping tool now, so I'll just let me resize here so that it picks everything that it go. So here, new. So I just come and pick all of this. So I pick all of. You can see that it has captured the whole dashboard. Okay, then you can send it this way. Then another alternative, which is the best, from file, come to save as. Okay, so when you are saving, come here and choose PDF. Look at it here, PDF. Okay, let me save. By the time it comes up, it's actually going to look real. It's going to be clean. So I didn't do the area. I know it's going to cut it off. But if you zoom out a picture, it's going to be blurred. But if you zoom out this one, it's actually going to give you the whole information. So while you are doing this, come to your page breakouts and ensure that the whole dashboard is on one page. So I didn't remember to do that. That's why you were seeing that break in the dashboard. So I'm doing it again. PDF. Okay. Replace the former one. So look at it now. Loading at it go. You can see it now. If I zoom it now, you see it's still very clear. Hello, can you still hear me?
Yes, it's still very clear. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
so it's still very clear. Unlike when you send a picture to someone, each time you send it, it's actually going to cut it off. You get, when it gets to the person, it's going to look blur and it might not look too real. So this other one I just showed now was the same data, but I took a particular section like 2 weeks ago. And we did it on Power BI. So time will not permit us. We'll have added, this is map, the same data set. You can see it. We did it on Power BI like 2 weeks ago. This map, you can actually have map to see the location, see it. Yeah, New Delhi.
You did the presentation again. You're not doing it. Yeah, not presenting everything. So we're not saying. We're saying your Excel.
Don't mind me.
You didn't even see the PDF too.
So
yeah, can
look
you
at
see the PDF also?
Okay, this is the PDF too. So I was saying that this one now was done 2 weeks ago using the same data set. You can see. So look at here, we're able to do map, we're able to do a combination of quantity by city and the employees, and look at sales and year. So a lot of things that you can actually do on your own with creativity. So that's just it. So the PDF is this. Let me just show us that PDF. Okay, here is the PDF. So this is the PDF.
Right.
This is the PDF. If I zoom it, it's still looking.
Great, as always. So thank you so much for honoring our invites, and thank you
very much.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome, madam.
So we'll take the last question because there's a question we
Okay.
usually ask our guests. Roger. Hello.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for the very amazing presentation. My point, where I still just want to get clear is the slicer. Just how to get the slicer, make the slicer interact with the. I've not gotten it clear. I'm texting on the chatbot. Please,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying that like we can't go over this session again, but by Tuesday the video will be like available on the YouTube, and by Tuesday the video will be available by YouTube, and on the video link the data set will be there, and you can and the data set will be there, the presentation will be there, so you can use Tosi's data to actually practice as you're watching Tosi go over it. And we'll have another session in less than
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
less than 30 minutes.
Mm. So thank you for this
So
session. I believe we'll be able to add at least one knowledge to what we already know about this aspect before. If I thank you, UB's.
UrBizEdge, UrBizEdge, thank you. Yeah, so we look forward to maybe having you for another session again. Then so I posted Tosi's LinkedIn and the YouTube link. I also posted the YouTube link. You can just search for UrBizEdge on YouTube also. But if by Tuesday the video will be available. So this YouTube link, just search for UrBizEdge, UrBizEdge. That's the link. So just search for it on YouTube. And the next session is on Power Pages. So Microsoft released Power Pages, I think like 3 weeks or 2 weeks ago. So we'll just have a short presentation of what exactly is Power Pages in the next 30 minutes. Then before we end the session, there's a question we usually ask our presenter. So it's also to be quick. So the session is also going to be so how did you get started in data analysis? Because you have been data analyst for 6 years, according to your LinkedIn.
Yeah, so 6 years. By next month will be 7 years.
Oh, 7. Congratulations. Yeah. And then what advice will you give to Joe starting out?
Okay, so briefly, fine. Starting might look tedious.
Hello.
What I do is you just have to be consistent. Then get yourself engaged. Learn. For me, I like to learn a lot. I like to add new things a lot. Then by the time you are able to apply, if for a beginner, you can, when you learn, add relevant certification. So you can come, at least this platform is where you can actually add relevant certification to yourself. With that, you can apply for entry-level data jobs. From there, you actually work on yourself, increase more. For me, for over like 4 years, I was busy using only Excel. At the time, I had a lot of data sets. My former company, I was managing over 400 fleets, and data from the bosses were coming to me. So I look at it that I can't go ahead with Excel. I had to go and learn Power BI. From there, gradually, I feel that, okay, Power BI, learn SQL. It's a gradual process. It won't come all at once. Then working as a data analyst might look tedious. You have a lot of things to do and the likes, but we just have to be consistent, learn to improve yourself, add more skill when you have the opportunity, and this will actually make you a better person. So those are just few things that I would like to add to that.
Okay, so to say again, once again, thank you so much for coming, and we'll see you soon. And and again, the videos going to be available on YouTube, and thank you again for coming, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
So
thank you.
Same time next week, we have another presentation in 30 minutes, and again next week Sunday by 4 o'clock, there's also going to be another Excel session. So if you join the Excel community, you'll get newsletter of you get emails of the next session. And if you go on the page, you also see emails about the next session, which is next week. So thank you. I'll be ending the call.
Thank you, Tosin.